Welcome to episode 10 of Germinating Super Hot Peppers. Today is January 10th, 2017. Start with the Carolina Chocolate Reaper. We have, in the past 2 days, really haven't had any action until today on any of these for the past 2 days until today. And then suddenly, these are the seeds I pulled out of one of the pod groupings the other day because they weren't popping, and so I put them in the paper towels, and then they started popping. So you can see one here is popping. You can see the little white dot on it, and I think there's another one in here that's doing the same, but it's hard to. Oh, there it is. Hard to see it. Right there, that second one there on the right, it's got a little white dot on it. So those have sprouted in the paper towels, so I'm going to transplant them into the pod groupings. Okay, so I planted actually I found 3 total that had popped, the Carolina Chocolate Reaper. I put them in this pod right here, and I filled out the thing, highlighted it out, gave today's date, January 10th. So that's pod grouping 3. Nothing's really changed other than the one I just added today in pod grouping 3. Now, 1, 2, 3. These 3, I planted those a week ago on the 3rd of January. It's the 10th now, and they still haven't sprouted or popped out of their pods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig those guys out and put them back in the paper towels and see if I can get them to sprout that way. Those were the Moruga Scorpion. They just didn't sprout. Alright, I dug 2. There were 2 of them in each one of the pods. So I dug them up. I'm going to put them back in the paper towels to conserve them. Because these seeds are not cheap when you buy them. They're 50 cents each, why not? Let's stick a couple of them back on the paper towels here. Oops. Stick it back on. Fold it back up. Who knows, maybe in about 3 or 4 days, maybe they'll start to sprout inside the paper towel like the other ones did that I pulled out recently. It's a good thing I saved these. You don't want to give up on them. I X'd them out to remind myself that they're actually empty pods now for future sowing. Here's pod grouping 1. Looks like we've got some activity since yesterday. This ghost and this ghost are new. Those have just popped in. So, show those as having been popping in. Fancy. Nothing's really happened with pod grouping 2 since the 8th of January. Today's the 10th. They've all gotten a little taller, of course. This ghost has gotten some true leaves and looks like it's ready to probably go into a cup. Here's 1, 2, and 3 group pods, pod groupings, or whatever you want to call them. As you can see, some of the pods are a little dry. I'm going to have to water them down before I put them under the dome. So, yeah, I'm probably going to be putting this one in a cup, and probably these, maybe a couple of those there. It's getting a little tall. For the record, here is 1, 2, and 3's mapping for January 10th. I sowed these from the paper towels. This is the only pod today that I've sown out of all the paper towel seeds that I looked at. There's probably about 30 seeds that are in these paper towels roughly, and only 3 of them, the Carolina Reaper chocolate, actually started to sprout in the paper towel, so I put it in pod slot 3, in the upper right hand corner there. This one's probably the tallest out of all of the pod seedlings. As you can see, it's got its true leaves. There's a couple other ones that are close to it. But what I'm going to do, I am going to let these grow even taller. They look spindly to me. I'm a little concerned about, being too top heavy and maybe just like failing. But I'm going to give them a little bit more time, actually grow a little taller, maybe another ½ inch to an inch taller before I put them in the cups. I just think that I can get away with doing that and it'll be alright. For the record, there's 40 of these pepper pods that have popped through the soil, and then I have got another 10 underneath the light over in the cups, so that's a total of 50. So, okay, I've put them on there in their resting spots for the night. We have 1, 2, and 3 from left to right. I've got a couple of cups I'm experimenting with, because I have them here. I've got certain ones that are here, and then I also have other ones that are in this setup down here. So under the lights under there. So I want to see how much better one versus the other grows. Experimenting to see whether this setup under here is better than or worse than the light coming from the grow light here. Domes are on. They're ready for another night. Under this rig that I put together, we'll go over under here. I'd like to get more of these LED lights closer together, but this is what I have right now. So I can put a bunch of them under here if I want to. The lights a couple inches above the top of the cups. I've got a total of 10 in the cups. I just showed you 3 of them that I put up in the domes. I'm going to experiment with those compared to how they are growing in under these lights, under the LED lights. I want to see which one does a better job of it. So that's one experiment I'm running. Another thing I've done since yesterday is all of these had, some temporary labels, the type of pepper, that type of thing. What I did is I just went in and permanent marker just wrote down what it was and when it was potted. Oops, daggone it. Very fragile. Anyways, this still one has a tag, but I'm going to take it out. It's very fragile. This one is a 7-pot Douglas. It's potted on the 21st of December. Today is the 10th of January, so it's been 3 weeks since most of these were sown in soil. So this is where they are 3 weeks after they were sown in soil under these LED lights. Trinidad scorpions, some yellow pots, a couple ghosts. I'm going to be adding to them here in the days ahead as these seedlings get a little larger.